Alright, I'm back with one final video for today. I just figured I'd finish coloring up Winter May, completing her outfit and everything, now that I've got all my colors pulled. So I'm just going to jump right into that, and I am going to use W5, 7, and 9 for her black skirt, and I went with the W's because the same paper that I showed you on the previous video, the black in it was a very warm gray, and it was just the best match. So we're going to keep with our established light source that it's coming in from the left. Oops, sorry. And I'm just going to start laying down. I work lightest to darkest, so my W5. And we got pleats going on her skirt, so I'm going to start laying in my color in the areas that are going to be darkest at the end when we get all done blending. So this, kind of pleats around, so this area, but the very edge is probably going to catch some light back here. This is a outward bend to it, so on this side of it, I want to get some color. We're going to go underneath that belt. And then, might as well get all the way underneath that belt. And then in this kind of dip in area, get some color. And the inside fold of that would be away, but these ones are going to have that light hitting it. I'm going to get on the inside of that skirt, and I am going to color that whole thing in. Just because I want it darker at the end. Okay. Up to my W7. Right over top, but not quite as far out as the W5 went. And then here. Have the legs casting shadows, and you will have a little bit more light hitting on this side, so I'm going to not take my W7 all the way out. And then W9, and again right over top, kind of halving the distance. There's going to be very little W9. Here. Now I'm going to work my way back down. This is where I start blending all the colors. So the W7, I'm going to spin her a bit because I have my light source coming in from the left. I like to kind of drag my color towards that light source, blending in. This way. Okay, and then I'm going to finish with my W5, and that's going to fill in the white area. Okay, get a nice blend on that. And I'm going to let that dry and go down to her boots, and then I'll come back and I'll hit it again so I darken it up. Same thing, just starting with my W5. this one back here, I don't know how much of a shadow this front leg would really be casting. The shadow is probably more here. So I think you'd still get a little bit of lightness from where it would be hitting it on that side of her body, but just a touch. Plus, even if I'm fudging it a little bit, it's going to help distinguish where this boot ends and this one starts by not having two of the darkest shades running right into each other. Now the W7, right over top, half in the distance. We're not going for pretty at this point, just getting the color off. And W9. Okay, now I'm going to work my way back down with the W7. This is where we start blending them out. And finish off with the W5. Okay. Give us a nice warm gray black color on her boots down there. Now, like I said, I wanted to hit her skirt again, so I'm going to jump right to the W9 and hit those shadows again. And just work down to the W7, blending it out. And this is going to be up to you whether you want it to be a more gray skirt or a darker black skirt. I'm trying to go more for black, so that's why I'm giving it this extra layer of color. And finish off with the W5 to blend it. Hitting each of the pleats individually. Okay. That looks good to me. So now I'm going to move up to her little hood and cape, and I'm going to be using a dark blue-green combination. I'm actually going to start with G12. Color that all in because it's away from the light source, so it's going to be dark back there. And this is where the light's going to hit it, so I'm going to leave a little bit white up there. I got her shoulder on this side and even a little bit of the hood back here, but that's about it. Everything else is the fur trim, I think. So now up to my G28. Start laying in our shadows up and around her head where the light's going to start hitting, and finish right about there. And then here, I'm going to leave this area a little bit lighter, but back where it would be behind her head, we're going to go dark. I want to get a little bit of dark there too. Now to start pulling in the blue and the blue-green combo, I'm going to have BG18. Right over top. Pretty much everything I just did. This is going to blue up that the G28 that I just put on. Now I'm going to take my G12 and just blend that light area and finish with a BG13 over top the whole thing to really give it a blue-green tint. Let that dry, and I'll probably go back in with my 28 and 18 back here just to give me some more contrast on this far side of her hood. But while that's drying, I'm just going to do her tights really quick with an E81. Have the skirt casting a shadow up there, and then just kind of pull from the back side of her leg around, and all this back here. And I'm going to, since there's no lighter E80 yet, I'm going to use a W00. Though I did see that a couple of the new colors that are going to be coming out in 2012 are some new E80s. So excited. I think E84 was one, which will really help in the grouping, the E81, E84, E87 that are already out, and then I think there's a darker, like a E89, I think. So they're starting to fill it in, which is really exciting to me. Anyway, back to the tights. Okay, and now while it's still wet with the W00, I'm going to go back with my E81 and just kind of hit back here again, because I want a kind of beigey colored tight on her. And one more blend just where they meet. I'm not going all the way back to the back because I don't want to lose the darkest part back there. Okay. So we got those done. Now I'll take my G28. Come back here. I even might leave a little bit, like where that's bumping out. Let's say that it's coming out enough that's going to catch a little bit of light. And that's simply going to be skipping and filling in here and here. And that's going to automatically make that area a little bit lighter and give it some more dimension. And we'll do the same thing over here. Just getting some more dark contrast on and blend that down. Okay, pretty happy with that. So I will take this and blend with the BG13. I'm not being super careful around the fur trim because at the end I'm going to be adding some white flock to it, so I'm not even going to bother coloring it. But if you were going to color it, you'd want to be a little bit more careful than I am being. Okay, so we got that. Now I have, let's see, what do we, well, we got that striped shirt of hers, which I think we'll use a couple different combinations. So we're going to use, for my kind of mustard green color, start with YG91, and I'm just going to find a stripe, and I'm thinking I'm going to alternate between 3 colors. So I'm going to get the 91 on here, skip 2, do the 91, skip 2, do the 91. So that was over here on our palm. And then There. And, you know, the stripes aren't hard. They're just a little tedious. Okay, so now I'm going to Y26, because you're doing blending and shading for each color that you're laying down in pretty small spaces. I've got a little bit of Y28. And for my darkest, E87, that's just going to be hit right back here. And as small as that is now, I'm just going to blend a little of that in with the Y28, because it's kind of my grayer yellow mustardy color, and then finish it off with the YG91 to bring that green in. Okay, done with those. So now my second green combination is a G40, G82, G94. Let's start with my G40. It's just going to follow that last combination that we did. G82. See what I mean about having to do the shading individually each time, because you're working up and down for each color. And then I'm just going to finish off with the G40 to keep the contrast there. Okay. Now I got an even lighter, kind of dim green, G20. And G21. I'm just going to use the two colors on this one. And as light as those are, I don't think they need any other blending, so I'm not going to add any more color to that. Okay, so looking at what's left on her, I think we need a little E87 down here on her heels, just to give another color there. Done on the boots. And let's do an E87, a dark brown belt. And I'm going to use, just because I don't have anything else, I'll use E81 to fill in the rest of that. Like I said, it'll be really nice when we get that E84 here in a couple months. And then just one more hit with that to give me my shadows that I want. Okay, got the belt done, and then she's got a little scarf. Let's say it's part of the cape, tying it together. So we'll go back with our blue-green. That's the G12, G28, BG18, and the BG13 over the whole thing. I'm going to have to go with my G12 down here where I left it white. You can see the difference where it was too blue down there. Okay. Like I said, then if, you could color her little fur trim, I'd probably use like an E40, E41. But since I'm going to be using the flocking, that is a finished little image, because I'm probably going to use one of my metallic silver or gold pens on the buckle there. So I'm not going to be touching that with Copics. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and just had fun looking at the different color combinations, and thanks for watching.